How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. What can I do for you?
Sir, you cannot do anything for me, okay? You're getting a lower rate on your credit card, so which credit card do you have with the balance?
The one with the biggest balance is probably the MasterCard. That's the one we use for the donkey show.
For what?
For the donkey show.
For your mama show?
Donkey show. Your mama was there, though.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said my mama show. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. So, do you have the card with you?
Yeah, I do.
Your mama show? Okay.
Yeah.
Which bank do you have it with? Is it from your mama's bank or what?
Yeah.
Oh, the bank of your mama?
Yeah.
Okay, take that card and shove it up your ass.
You too, buddy. Kiss my donkey balls.
Lick my donkey balls.
Yeah. Go scam someone else, you little piece of shit. Get a real job. Like Rob. Gotta love robocalls, don't you? Hello. How's everybody doing?
I need to get a kazoo. We'll form a new kazoo band.
That'll be the next hipster trend,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
I know, Natasha, I try to block them, but you get to a point where they just keep calling and you just got to have fun with them after a while. You waste a few minutes of their time, then they can't scam somebody else.
My wife works for the Social Security Agency, and when we get robocalls from people pretending to be from the Social Security Agency, she tries to actually recruit them to work for the Social Security Agency. It's crazy.
That's interesting. But hey,
you got better things to do with your time.
No shit. Get a life. Quit scamming people. We got Darius Munchausen sending in a super sticker right away. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. You got some kazoo. And then we got one from Michael Gonzalez who sent in $10. Sung to Agatha All Along. Let me see if I can remember the...
I don't know that song. People say Agatha that took the internet by storm. I'm like, yeah,
I know. I listened to it. I'm like, God, that god awful song is what took the internet by storm. Hey, Demogeni, you want to hop in? I'll try this. It's too late to fix anything now that everything has gone wrong. Thanks to Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy. It's been Kennedy all along, and I liked Cara Dune too. I know it's kind of like
that's how that goes.
I know it's kind of like the Munsters, but I like listen to that thing, and I'm just like, the Munsters is catchy at least. Boom, 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 boom. Did you know that Rob Zombie's making a Munsters movie?
Oh no! Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Oh boy.
You know, it's not the worst idea in the world. Except for, I don't know how I'm going to feel when Herman Munster calls Eddie a little fucking cunt rag. But
hey, you fucking cunt rag, get over here.
Hey, Eddie, you're a little cunt rag. Yeah, that ain't going to work out too well. Stephen Otten sent in $5, says, Midnight's Edge panel, wrenches, and chat. Gives us a fist bump. You're effing late. I blame Kaiser Soze. Yeah, late start today. Late start. I didn't mean to.
I blame Kaiser Wilhelm. There you go. Where's a World War I reference for you?
Oh, going way back. But yeah, we got Jason with us from Sci-Fi for Me TV. How you doing, Jason?
I'm good. How are y'all?
hanging in there. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, they do some good work over there. Almost daily, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. We've got. I think Sunday is really the only day that we don't have anything that we put out. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are.
I don't have anything better to do with my time.
But you got some pretty good production value, and you're always covering all the news. I like to listen when I can. It keeps me up to date on everything without having to dig through all the websites and papers for what's going on. And frankly, there ain't been a whole lot of shit going on the last 2 days, except for everybody trying to cancel Bill Burr, and Bill Burr just basically going, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
Yeah. His wife's response was priceless.
I know, right? And that's basically what she said. "Shut up, bitch," or some shit like that.
Pretty much. No.
Good for her. Good for her.
I have to wonder, because we've been talking about it here a little bit, about whether or not we've turned a corner as far as the pushback to cancel culture.
It's funny you bring that up because it's the title of the show.
Because if the whole thing with Gina Carano getting fired seems to have been this aha moment for a lot of people, where they're sitting there going, "Wait a minute, what's going on now exactly? She got fired for what?" And then you've got people that are starting to talk back and forth about various different things, and it's spilling over. And I think you're starting to see more of this, because Bill Maher's talking about it. Talking about how stupid this stuff is. And
did you see his new rule on Friday night? We are a silly people. About how it says, who doesn't care? He said, who doesn't care about a stereotypical Chinese person in a Dr. Seuss book? The Chinese.
And actually, I think he said the fucking Chinese, but yeah.
Well,
no, once in a while, Bill Maher actually is on the button.
Well,
I will give him that.
It's illustrative of the left wanting to be offended on behalf of everybody else who's not offended but should be if they knew better. Yeah.
No, and he's always been one who's been against cancel culture because he was one of the first ones to be canceled. If you guys remember, they tried canceling him way back when he was on Politically Incorrect.
Well, and the other part, what was her name? She was a YA author, her very first book. And she got canceled. Her name escapes me now. It was Zhao, I think was her last name. And she was talking about, it was a fantasy. So it wasn't even set in an actual country. It was a completely different realm. And it was based on the history of Chinese slavery, because she's Chinese. Yeah. And she got canceled and had to withdraw her book and apologize and revise her book. Because who is she to write about slavery? Because, they've got these blinders on that slavery was only about African Americans in the United States in the last 300 years. That's their complete focus. And they completely ignore the fact that there were slaves everywhere else. And it's just nuts.
Very myopic view.
Very.
Yeah. No, it can only mean this one thing. And I would tell people about how, listen, and 400 years of oppression. My father came to this country in 1952. Okay. So don't give me this. The Roman Empire enslaved. Like, yeah, you're right. They enslaved a lot of people, but you know what? A lot of people also benefited under the Roman Empire. They built roads, brought education, running water. What have the Romans ever done for us?
Yeah, what have the Romans ever done for us?
The aqueduct.
Well, yes, that was the aqueduct. But what else? What have the Romans really done for us besides the aqueduct?
Roads.
Oh, yes, roads, yes.
Security. All right, the aqueduct, road security. What else? What have they really done for us? Education. All right, trade, education, road security, aqueduct. What have the Romans ever done for us? Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Well, and we talk about it. I describe these people as emotionally constipated junior high mean girls. And that's their motif. That's their their mindset is they want to tattle and they want to be the ones in the room. You know, it's
I'm telling.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and Stephanie Janicek, Smuggler's Cantina, says the Forbes article was extremely interesting. Speaking of which, Stephanie, we have that right here.
We do.
Yes, we do. And this was a surprising article to come across today. A few people sent this to me. Disney's firing of Gina Carano is confusing and hypocritical, lacking sound management.
I haven't seen this yet.
Shots fired across the bow right at Disney's face from the one and only Forbes.
Huh. Is it significant that Scotty Mendelson is not the one writing this?
I think so. Scotty is a dick.
Scotty's he's very most likely he would have a take. So this is by a guy named Gene Del Vecchio, Hollywood Entertainment. I write about entertainment based on my 35 years in history. I've been sitting on this article for a while, allowing my opinion to form. That's something that many companies don't do enough of these days. Instead, they rush to conclusions too fast, yielding to the views of a few vocal members of the community. There it is, folks. Rather than allowing time and consideration to inform decisions. The latest example is Disney's firing of Gina Carano from The Mandalorian in February. She is a conservative who is not shy about expressing her views. The latest being a comment that compared conservatives silenced and canceled today to Jews being targeted during the Holocaust. An exaggerated comparison? Yes. But enough to fire her? Doubtful. I'm trying to channel my inner Robert Meyer Burnett. She's more guilty of a bad comparison. Gina should have likened today's conservative cancel culture to the 1950s congressional hearings held to expose entertainment people who were members or sympathizers of the Communist Party. 10 influential actors and screenwriters were eventually jailed and blacklisted by the major studios for denouncing the hearings and refusing to name those who had expressed communist sympathies. That's a better comparative. Ironically, when Disney fired Gina for her opinions, it inadvertently proved her point. And I got quacked here. Quack. So, who's quacking me? Okay, that's who's quacking me. Tom, stop quacking me. We could disagree as to whether Disney was justified or not in firing Gina, but one thing is clear. Disney's management of its social responsibility persona is woefully flawed. See, Natasha, now Tom's just going to send me instant messages just to make the quack go off. Oh no, I just gave him the idea. Damn it. To begin, the company's approach is confusing. Many assert that Pedro Pascal, the star of The Mandalorian, offered similar analogies that Carano did, though with a liberal bent, when he shared a now-deleted Instagram post comparing Donald Trump voters to German bad guys, because we can't say that word. Pascal kept his job. Carano did not. Disney's inconsistent approach led outsiders to suspect that Disney leans left, something that CEO Bob Chapek denied at the recent shareholders meeting by stating, I don't really see Disney as characterizing itself as left-leaning or right-leaning, yet instead standing for values that are universal.
I like Gene.
See what I tell you?
I knew it.
I heard it.
A quack.
Frank, are you quacking me? Frank Marshall? Frank?
I'm debating on having talking ducks in Congo too. I like ducks.
Isn't that what Disney's new Mighty Ducks is about?
What's a Mighty Duck?
What's a Mighty Duck? Those kids that play hockey, Frank. It's like the Bad News Bears. But
what's that got to do with ducks?
Well, that's the name of the team, Frank. The Ducks.
Well, that's just stupid.
Yes, it is stupid. Mighty Ducks, we own that one, don't we? I figured out a way to ruin that one too.
No, we didn't have nothing to do with that crap.
Oh, okay then. Still, there's too many white people that play hockey. It has not enough diversity.
Well, it is like a Canadian sport.
Oh, that's your excuse for everything, Frank.
So you trying to say Canada is full of white supremacists?
I'm saying if the shoe fits, then goose step in it.
We're talking about ducks here, not gooses, woman. Keep up with this shit. Come on.
The great Frank Marshall.
I need to go get some cocaine.
What's this? I don't use the B word, but damn it, you're making us all these.
Quango.
Quango.
Well, ducks are interesting creatures, okay? They're not quite pigeons and they're not quite chickens. We can't quite figure out what they are. And they're greasy as shit. You ever had duck?
Yes, I have, Frank.
I haven't. They're too greasy.
Okay.
I don't know why I was doing with that, but yeah. Anyway, who says Senator Hammerslag with a owl?
You know what you should do? You should do a Ted Nugent Quango.
Quanga Tango.
Quango Tango. But anyway, the manager
Ted Nugent.
No, that's the other song. My amplifier used to have my amplifier actually used to have a cat scratch fever setting, like a preset. Yeah,
like it called it the cat scratch fever.
It's a cat scratch. Literally cat scratch.
That's just kind of funny. All right, where were we in this? I'm sorry.
It was a digital modeling amp, and it would have all these different like amp models on it, and it would it would have it would have like 50s model, and it would have like a 60s like a late 50s like Fender twin reverb model,
right?
Or Vibe model. It would have a Vox, but then it would have like actual presets modeled after songs, and like it would have like Revolution, and We Won't Get Fooled Again, Day Tripper, and then it had Cat Scratch Fever.
I totally want that now.
You play guitar?
Oh yeah, long time.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'm writing a rap album now.
I caught your rap last night during Toxic Film.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah.
That was a horrible quality.
You ever hear Sam Kinnison's?
It got the point across.
Did you ever hear about Sam Kinnison's bit about?
I want my records back.
Yeah, I want my records back. But he says about Two Live Crew. I Two Live Crew, the Outlaws of Rap. I bought the tape. Wanted just to be fair. There was a song on it called "Suck My Dick." That was the song. What am I doing? Writing specials, writing comedy albums where I could be writing rap songs. You know what? I'm gonna wake up. You know what? How do you write "Suck My Dick"? What you think the Beatles could have wrote that? Hey, John, want to write a little "Suck My Dick"? I don't think we have time. It's such a hard song to write. What do you do? You get up in the morning. You know what? Today I'm gonna write a song. It's gonna be a love song. I'm going to write a song about what a man says to a woman the first time he lays eyes on her. What a man thinks the first time he sees a beautiful woman. Suck my dick. That was the song.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just wrote some kind of fart in my new car. I'm a rap songwriting machine. You can't stop me. I'm rapping Sammy.
Speaking of a fart in a new car. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Paulie.
Hey, Paul.
You came in at a bad time. That's your fault.
I heard fart.
He said something about a fart.
Was that you that laid a pedo, man?
A pedo.
Oh, Fuji, que pedo. Oh, my God.
Fuji, que la tostada.
I need
That's
to stop
beautiful. What do you call that? It's called Lick My Love Pump.
Well, anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, it's written in D minor, which is the saddest chord of them all.
Dude, we could go to deep. Oh, yeah, that's the best one.
Oh,
how's it going? What's up, Jason?
Hey.
I saw some of your benefit there. That's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we had Shingan on, man. They did music for like Robert Rodriguez films and Quentin Tarantino films, and
Yeah.
they even did the song from Kill Bill 2.
Well, you know, I got the kid actor from the Iglesias TV show coming on tonight, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then I was I'm binging it. What's that?
Julio or Gabriel?
Gabriel, fool.
Fool.
Shut
I
up, fool.
can be your hero, baby.
Well, I'm binging the show and I'm like, man, I know the voice to this theme song. I'm like, oh shit, that's Asdru from Moses Motley. So I text him, like, oh yeah, that's me, man. Me and we did that song. I'm like, that's a good song, dude. Give me the link. Give me the whole song, right? Let me play the theme song. It's like, oh man, I never did do that. I'm like, he just did it.
He never did the full version? That sucks.
Well, he just said, I haven't made a mix of it yet, and my laptop died. Yeah. I got a new one, and I'm gonna work on it this weekend. I mean, this song is like, 5 years old, but
I don't know the song, but no, like that's one of my things I love, especially when I do MEAD radio, is I love the full versions of like theme songs and stuff. They're just I always seek them out, and like some of my more favorite ones are like the theme song to Cheers, because it has like a whole nother verse. Like I sent the full version of All in the Family theme song to Rob that has like a whole nother verse. I mean, now it's now you can get the Fresh Prince full version fairly easily, but back in the day you couldn't. Like I had the single and shit. It was hard to find that 2.5 minute version or whatever. Like,
well, this one's really catchy. This one's really good.
Well, I can imagine most theme songs are pretty good. Like when you hit something right.
Yeah. And he, I think him and the guys, they do a lot of, like theme songs and music and shit.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, it's not a bad it's not a bad comedy. It's on, it's all right.
Yeah. All right. I didn't even know he had his own show. That's how much I watch TV though.
3 seasons.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
There's some funny stuff on it. There's actually some, like, more than one. I mean, look, me in comedy, so I know you're not, we're not on the same page sometimes. But him and Jacob Vargas, who plays his buddy teacher, they're both teachers, and they reenact People's Court at the end of one of the episodes, and it had me rolling, man. It had me rolling. Exactly.
Did you ever see the courtroom case with Rick and Morty?
No.
Justin Roiland does the voices. Morty's the judge, and Rick is the defendant. He's not giving me the discovery. I have a right to I want to fire my attorney and hire a new attorney. Well, you have a right to a public defender, but not a specific one. Yeah, but he's not giving me the discovery. It's actually really funny. It goes on for like 9 minutes.
Tobias Tobox says Signor is drama queen and canceled Snyder. I don't know about canceling Snyder, but I did see Snyder threw a little shade at Andy. Yeah, I mean,
I caught pictures of that. What was that?
The main bit I saw was somebody was bitching that Andy got to see the Snyder Cut before they did, and he posted, "Yeah, I know," with a little like kind of like face on it. It was kind of like eye roll or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of throwing a little shade at Andy. I kind of see where Andy's coming from in this one, because
was there? It seemed like Andy had posted some clarification. Apparently, Snyder had been talking about the fact that anybody had seen it early. That I don't know if it was talking about the leaks or if the
I don't know what happened, if it was clarified, but regardless, I mean,
I mean, you mean Andy, the guy on the
Andy Signor, yeah.
Oh, what? Well, he's in the world.
Him, and he's always kind of had run-ins with the Snyder crew or whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's like a Duke of Hazzard. Been with the loss, and someday it was.
I totally did not know Julio Iglesias, Jesus Christ, Gabriel Iglesias had his own fucking show. Thanks, Rob. You're a dick.
Well, he's also playing Speedy Gonzalez in
yeah,
Space
that I knew.
Yeah.
Is his brother? Is that his brother? Fool! What are you doing? That guy.
Is that Armando? Is that his name?
What?
Gabriel Glace's buddy there, or his fool. What are you doing?
He's the one
In
that's
the
always sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Is he on it?
On the TV show?
Yeah.
I don't. You talking about like from his stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
No. It's the actor Jacob Vargas. He plays.
Okay.
He plays his buddy. They went to they teach at the high school they went to the high school and then they're teaching at it now. So there's a lot of that. But no, yeah. They do play each other's like little Chicano foil every now and then. But I like the show because it doesn't rely on that stuff. It's like it's a lot.
Well, that's something I've said about Gabriel before is that I like about his comedies. He's not completely reliant on the fact that he's Hispanic like certain other comedians we won't name.
That those jokes just you got to save them. You got to save them, and it's just like, oh shit! I just sent you the
I
intro.
love the story.
Yeah, that's what made me bring it up again. Sorry, I should have been more clear, but yeah, so I checked it out. It's a catchy tune. Yeah, like I just never knew he had his own show. I'm not surprised though. I mean, he's at that level. That's kind of like what you want to do when you're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and I was very surprised how much I like it. And Geek Tropology is watching it with me because he's going to do the Spanish interview for our little project. But
which I think we're going to talk about that on the Blood In, Blood Out thing. But
yeah, we were just both commenting each other. It's like most of it's really good, and then there's a couple of woke moments. We're like, why do they even need that in there? It's like you don't need it. And I'm like, well, it's the writers, man.
Well, I absolutely love the story he tells in stand-up about when he went to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, tell me.
No, you never heard that? He says he gets an offer. Well, it's much funnier that way he tells us. So seek it out. You can find it on YouTube. But he gets an offer to go to Saudi Arabia. He calls his quack. He calls his agent. He says, listen, I don't know if this is legit, but here's what you do. Okay. Okay. You know what? Ask them for an exorbitant amount of money. And if the money comes through, we know it's legit. And, then we take the gig. Mm-hmm. So that's what his agent does. Ask him for an exorbitant amount of money. 10 minutes later, he gets a call. Fluffy gets a call back. It's legit. I'm like, we're going to Saudi Arabia. And so he gets on a plane and he's picked up by 3 black SUVs at the airport. They get on the plane, go to first class. A guy in a suit and sunglasses points to him and his buddies. You come with us. He's like, fuck, they're gonna execute us in the desert, aren't they? And so without getting too much in, he goes, well, he's trying to figure out how they know him. He says, I don't mean to offend you, but how do you know us? How do you get Comedy Central? Oh, we see you on YouTube. You're the number 2 comedian in all of Middle East. He goes, you're kidding. How would I kid? I'm not a comedian. You are a comedian. That's your job. You kid. And he says, well, who's number 1? Jeff Dunham.
Told you.
Yes. He says, you guys don't find that offensive? No, we think it's hysterical. I kill you.
Yeah, I told you guys. He's the number 1 comedian. People thought I was kidding when I said that. And not just it's the universality of him, and it's why Jeff Foxworthy was the number 1 comedian throughout the 90s because he's just that universality, and it's he sell out shows left and right. I mean, Roger Haynes sends in a super sticker. Thank you so much. But yeah, back on this. Speaking of comedians, though, back to Bill Burr and
we're jumping all over the place. Oh yeah, I did the Bill Burr.
You did. I saw that.
Oh,
I didn't watch the video, but I saw you posted it. I didn't get a chance to actually watch it yet.
No. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're going to ask me what my take on it was. I'll just tell you guys. If that's where you're going, Tom.
Sure, go for it.
Actually, I do have Mecca brought up in the chat and about Claudia Gray's book, Smutty book. I do have my geode action figure today. So now available at Home Depot. They're about, you get a 40-pound bag of them for about $8.
Yeah,
so.
They're at Lowe's too, but they're too expensive.
And he's all over my driveway, actually.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
For God's sake. What? I'm Leslie Headland. Who's got I want to cast that rock in my Star Wars show, The Acolyte. Yabba dabba do. All right, that joke's getting old. Okay. All right, should we continue with this? Have we floated around enough? Or no, there's never too much farting around.
Did we lose Tom?
Tom's shaking his head. My career is over. My career broke.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Paulie was about to tell us about his video before you interrupted him. Right?
No. It was a goat moment.
Goat moment?
Goat or goat?
Whatever his goat. What is it? What's the rock's name? What's the stupid rock?
Geode.
Geode. Oh, it's my phone.
Everything I wear looks like shit.
Oh, it's my new ringtone.
If I knew just what to say, then maybe.
You ain't heard that yet, Paulie?
No.
That's my new hit song. Everything I wear looks like shit on me, but baby, I look good on you.
The ladies loved it last night.
Did you debut it last night on Talk?
Kind of, sort of. I'm really pissed. I didn't want to, but it just kind of happened.
They were pressured by the women.
Oh my God.
And then Az was in the chat, so I was embarrassed.
When does Az sleep? Dear God, that guy is...
He's like me. And jack of all casuals, that is the plan eventually.
Mm-hmm.
To get Az to pass out from exhaustion?
No, to buy it so people can buy it or whatever. I'm talking to Perry Chan right now about getting the video put together. That was originally how I was going to debut it. Was video, and the music video is going to be like my face on like a bunch of famous music videos, like Never Gonna Give You Up, Billie Jean, NSYNC type stuff, all that kind of stuff. Just keep cutting into, it's going to be hilarious.
Well, sounded good. I want to see it.
That's the first time you heard any of it?
It's got a beat and dance to it.
Is it old or new or what's it?
I just wrote it the other night.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my first time. Yeah.
It's turned into American Bandstand. I give it a 45.
Sanders like stop promoting yourself.
Yeah.
I'm actually Lord. Yeah. Yeah, Az is on the iTunes chart. That's like,
Good.
I was in Toxic Femme for like a second and it was like Az, and then I forgot why I had to take off.
Oh, Az, yeah, he hopped in. He was hanging in the chat. So finally, I'm like, "Look, get your ass in here and say hi to the ladies," because they wanted to meet him.
Oh, cool! How did that work out?
Yeah, he was on for like 10, 15 minutes. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah. Tom always has to give Sadie a little sip from the cup because Mary's going to poison him. So I can host the show. Make sure everything's okay. Okay. All right, Sadie. I can host Toxic Femininity tonight. You're okay. Nah, I love Sadie.
I got yelled at for oppressing her voice on Toxic Femininity.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who did you oppress again?
Sadie's voice.
Oh my God. I should put the remix on iTunes. Do I still have the remix?
I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I got to figure all that shit out.
The remix.
I do have a radio cut too of it.
I'm still trying to learn how to.
I got remix. I got the Brie dance mix.
And I got a 12-inch mix of that as well. And I have that other song I showed you, and then I got like 2 or 3 other ones that are in the hopper.
Yeah, I got voice meter up, so let's see if I can. The Brie Larson dance. Yeah, the last thing I need is Brie Larson coming after me for royalties. You use my voice without my permission. You toxic white man. You attacked me.
I'm not sure how that works exactly. Like if it's out there, and it's. Patrick Mulligan wants to know our thoughts on The Haunting of Bly Manor and Hill House. I have not seen them. I've heard a lot of good things. Paulie, Jason, have you seen them? I know Rob hasn't.
I'm not a big horror fan in our crew. I can see if any of the rest of our people have seen it. I think Tim and Leslie might have. They do our Foreign Bodies show. They may have seen it, but I have not.
Well.
So
Mecca said it's fair use. I was going to say, I think it falls under fair use to a point. Unless it's like an actual like audio recording or a movie or something like that, then you're usually pretty.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah, the Brie Larson dance mix. Yeah. Let's see if I could play it here. I got voice meter up, so let's see. Yeah.
Whenever I talk to like my music friends and all that stuff, they're always like, hey, how's Romy? Give her a big hug. Like we never get to. It's like, all right, yeah, okay.
Why do you
Right,
think
man.
I'm doing this, Paulie? So you can show it to all your friends and be like, look at this.
I'm like, geez.
I wouldn't ask you to do that.
Yeah. So let's
Oh,
continue.
so yeah. Speaking of horror, whenever
Hey,
there's
that is not. Hey, you don't call someone that, okay?
a
Horror.
horror films, there, Jason.
Yeah.
Horror films.
I got to see some. I got to see some of these horror films. I mean,
Who's the horror? Who was asking about the horror film right now? Was it you, Jason, or
No, somebody-
or Rob?
somebody-
No, it was a
That-
super chat.
that-
It was they wanted to know what we thought of Blythe Manor and Hill House.
Hill House.
So Romy, Mrs. Slant, she's like horror. She's like us, but with horror films.
that is cool.
The Darth or the
This
fact
is
that
out
she's
September 21st.
Darth Vader.
I'm doing prep for our new show tonight, and this is in our list. This is from
Damn.
Kotobukiya,
It's very samurai looking.
isn't it? It reminds me of what was his name that did all of those steampunk, Steam Wars and all that stuff. Silix. What was his name? Oh crap! Now I'm gonna botch this.
Well, Darth Vader, that is actually a samurai helmet he wears.
Is it samurai or is it World War One?
Well, I've seen samurai helmets in museums. And it's like, wait a minute, that looks awfully familiar. Oh, okay.
Yeah, here's this guy. Have you seen? I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. This has been around for a while. His name is Siloff. Let me throw that over here. He's done all these different variations of Star Wars figures.
Oh, there's a Jurassic Park logo there. Don't let Frank see that.
There's an Ugnaught, 3PO,
Still off?
Princess Leia.
Where's my money, motherfucker? I need coke.
The Wild West Luke. He does some really fantastic work.
Right.
Han Solo, Chewbacca.
That's Chewbacca?
Yeah.
That's Chewbacca. I kind of like the concept here, but yeah, that's Chewbacca.
No, he's wearing Chewbacca. That's
that's a little.
Well, I mean, this is Wild West. This is Cowboys and Indians story.
I get it.
That's
but
very Young Guns.
That's kind of. I don't want to say racist, but
Well, and he's done all of
Chavez,
these,
Chavez.
and Lone Ranger and Tonto, Han Solo and Chewbacca. He Wars, Roman Wars. I mean, you've got all these different ones. Oh, this would be fun. Graffiti Wars, like American Graffiti versions.
that was
Yeah, in the 50s.
Yeah. What the hell is that supposed to be?
That's 3PO. Gold Nerd. There's R2.
Oh, for God's sake. You turned into a Vespa.
Old Bert Ken Burry.
What the hell?
Han Solo.
It looks like Fonzie.
Do they
Chuck.
have
Chewbacca is Chuck the mechanic in this one.
Oh, for God's sake.
So you guys gonna do a show on this guy tonight?
No, we're prepping our
Graffiti Wars.
Graffiti Wars.
Does he have Latino awards like Han Chulo?
I don't see one.
Fucking Rob.
I see.
These are the best ones. These are probably the ones. These
No,
are probably
there's-
the ones that you've seen. The Steam.
Come on.
Where are they?
Of course it's good. You gotta have
No, Rob, I gotta show you something. Hold on.
the guy's name's you have a guy named Chewy. Of course you gotta have a Latino version of him.
No, there's already a clothing line that's been around for a while.
Chewy.
Let me get it.
Chewy.
That reminds you. Did you guys see? There was a movie with that very joke actually, It was called Fools Rush In with Salma Hayek and
The dude from what's his
from
face?
Friends. Shoot,
Chandler Bing.
Yeah, Chandler. Her brother
This
was
song is-
Chewy, and he made the joke when he first met her family, and it didn't go over well. It's not a bad movie.
What were they called?
They just played this. They for a decade just made a living off playing their friends' characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Jennifer. Every single movie Jennifer Aniston made was the same plot. She wanted just trying to get some guy to like her. I was like, yeah, okay. Well, if it works for you, I guess. Oh boy, where were we? No.
I'm just
anyway.
trying to find this this old
thing?
T-shirt company that did the Star Wars.
Where's my elevator? So we can have my royalty-free elevator music, so we can fill time here.
Baby Yoda is now a talking.
I thought you were going to finish the article at some point.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, Frank. That's a missing article. Okay. Values universal. Management cannot afford to treat employees differently for similar actions. It makes Chapek comments appear disingenuous. The company needs a universally consistent approach for its universal values. Disney's actions also appear hypocritical. At the same shareholders meeting, Bob Chapek went on to say that Disney believes in values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, and values of inclusion. And we seek to have not only how we operate, but the content that we make feel reflective of the rich diversity of the world we live in. And why am I reading it like Dr. Evil? And I think that's a world that we all should live in harmony and peace. That's a noble goal. Well said. But while Disney shapes and declares these aspirations for U.S. consumption, it turned a blind eye to China when the company shot Mulan in the same Chinese province where the government forced millions of Uyghur Muslims into those camps, where they go to concentrate. Disney went on to thank several government bodies in the film's credits. This signals that human rights and social responsibility are fine as long as they do not cost Disney any money in important markets. Disney never had a adequate response. Disney's approach is dangerous. Canceling people for the views of is proverbial slippery slope. The maxim, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, is losing ground to a rather frightening alternative. I disapprove of what you say, and I will cancel you for it. In the past, organizations that needed to distance themselves from employees' controversial opinions would make a public statement that the employees' opinions are theirs alone and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Done. Banishment was reserved for more egregious behaviors like debilitating drug use, assault, robbery, and murder. The 1950s blacklisting experience reinforced our belief that speech and political affiliation need to be protected, but we seem to have forgotten the lesson. As companies cancel people for their opinions, it feeds a dangerous cycle. The more they cancel, the more they embolden the mob to target more people and organizations. Then repeat, Disney and many other organizations are playing a very dangerous game out of fear, partisanship, and or misplaced sincerity. The beast they help to create and indulge may eventually devour them. Tom, what do we call that?
McDonald'sization or what? Which
no,
one?
The beast they help create may indulge them eventually. May eventually devour them. Thou gettest woke, thou beest broke.
Oh yeah, then they eat themselves. Yeah, like on a mountain.
Yeah, just like that movie Frank made about them eating themselves on a mountain. Ain't that right, Frank?
That's right.
Frank, you didn't partake of any of that on the mountain, did you?
No comment. I can't help it. Dick tastes yummy. I'm talking about my friend Dick. Get your mind out of the gutter.
And I thought I had grounds for divorce.
Oh, shit. Me too.
Jason's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
how much
I'm fine. They do their thing.
Congo.
I was gonna say I don't know how much you've actually seen of Mead. I'm sure you've seen the morning show, but
Yeah, no, I've seen this bit.
Organizations need a more thoughtful system, not a knee-jerk reaction to guide decisions regarding who gets fired. They need to specify what constitutes the most egregious offense. It needs to be transparent so the rules are known and not hidden in vague platitudes, open to misinterpretation or interpretation. It cannot be the decision of one person, but should be made by a group of people with varied views who applied a standard yardstick. They need to balance the right to free speech with social responsibility, and they need to take into account not simply the highly vocal individuals who are fast to complain, but the mainstream audiences who need time to digest the situational nuances. Case in point, a new poll conducted by Public Opinion Strategies found that 58% of people opposed Carano's firing. But that jumped to a whopping 72% when they saw the post that she was fired for, leaving only 28% who felt that Disney was justified. It makes Disney appear to be exaggerating when it later said in her social media posts were abhorrent and unacceptable in how they denigrated people based on their cultural and religious identities. Disney could counter that Carano was terminated not merely for her last post, but due to an accumulation of previous posts, where among other things, she reportedly mocked wearing a mask during the pandemic and suggested that voter fraud took place in the 2020 presidential election. But if that criteria were applied nationwide tonight, unemployment would spike to as much as 50% tomorrow morning. And though she was accused of being transphobic for mocking the use of personal pronouns, blah, 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 she, hers, which has become more common in the LGBTQ.
I don't like Gene as much anymore because he's still toting the fucking bullshit lines.
Well, anyway, feel like he has to a little bit.
I don't feel like he has to. I feel like he needs to call that shit out. If you're going to call this shit out, call it all out.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, she stated that I stand against bullying, especially the most vulnerable, and freedom to choose. But that wasn't enough for some. She became a target. Achieving social responsibility is truly a noble goal, but Disney, along with many others, organizations, needs to fix its haphazard approach that meanders aimlessly through the cancel culture minefield. And Gene says you could follow him on Twitter.
It's a good beginning. It's a piece.
15 ways to wear spring's hottest colors. Okay, we're not going to be reading that.
I have the best 9 tweezers for eyebrow shaping popped up on mine.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have that thing, that Norelco trimmer. You just like turn on and go, zzz, goodbye, unibrow. Yes, I said that.
That's so right. Confused as to what we're talking about right now.
I don't even know. Somehow it got into depilatory activities.
Tom, I sent you a link to a Google Drive. Apparently, Ichibaka is finding some stuff that this is just developing, so I don't know exactly what's going on over there. But apparently, there are some people that are now talking about Rose Tico assaulting Finn because she didn't get permission to kiss him at the end of The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah.
So, breaking news. Breaking news. It's breaking about 3 years too late.
Yeah, well, that's apparently that's a thing now. So I don't know what's going on with it. I'm just now seeing it. So I haven't had time to look, but it is interesting. Yeah,
it sounds like my news flash theme song.
It's making me download a zip file.
Give us 60 seconds. We'll give you El Mundo.
I used to watch Telemundo, even though I don't speak Spanish, because I thought the anchors were on Premier Impacto were hot. I can't remember what their names were.
Doesn't matter.
Fezman says he got his Cara Dune Funko Pop. Well, good for you, because I heard some are getting canceled, so that's awesome. Those who have been lucky enough to get their hands on some Cara Dune, giggity.
Cara Dune, Cara Dune.
There he goes again.
They've discontinued, I think, the season 1 figure. Our pre-order for the season 2 has not been canceled yet. It did get delayed. It did get pushed back on delivery date, but it's still apparently in the process. So they haven't officially canceled that one yet. It's just the first one that they did. So I don't know.
Okay.
Strange. You would think that if they were going to cancel them all, we'd cancel them all, but they just canceled the first one.
Maybe it depends on how many were in production so far, but I don't even think that matters at this point.
Yeah.
So, how much we got left of this article, Rob?
Krusty Moco has the names.
That was it. I think he's done.
The names of the Primer Impacto, and Maria Celeste was my favorite. Yes. It's in the the chat. I don't know if you saw that, Tom. But anyways. Hello?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. I said, no, I didn't see it because I'm trying to figure out these screenshots here.
Oh, Krusty Moco, which is one of the greatest handles that anyone could ever have. Krusty Moco. Moco means booger. He says in the chats, Mirka, Dellanos, and Maria Celeste were the Primer Impacto hostesses, Rob. And I remember Maria Celeste, very beautiful.
I want a premium impact. Yeah. Hey, baby.
It's like the pregnant pause show.
I don't know what Rob's doing, but like, I'm trying to get these things up that Jason sent me. So,
okay, well then, why don't I just give my my little take on the Bill Burr and
sure, yeah, do that real quick.
Yeah,
that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, so
that's a ticket.
Yeah, so I just brought up a couple points. I just put up my video today, regarding. To me, it's a non-story with what Bill Burr said and did, like what he actually said and did. As far as mispronouncing Spanish, how dare he? How dare you, sir? And he took the piss out of himself in the moment. That's what Bill Burr does great. It was a great moment. A couple things about language. Latinos, we get last names wrong ourselves when it comes to pronunciation. Oh, okay. You want to just go there? All right, I'll stop.
Again, I don't have a context for any of this yet.
No, you're fine, dude. I was just I was just getting this shit ready. So
yeah,
go ahead and continue.
Okay. Or you want me to continue, or we can go to that?
No, absolutely. I did not mean to bring that up right away.
Okay. All right. So just a couple points was that, with language, we get our own, we get our own shit wrong all the time, and then there's always, within our cultures, we do the language shame where it's like, you don't know Spanish well enough, or you're not speaking that right. That happens all the time. So there's not like a, there's not an exclusivity on, people getting mispronouncing a different language they don't know. But the other thing, the other thing that really got me was that most, if not all, of the people complaining and I'm not even talking about the dark side of what they were doing with Bill Burr and his wife. That's just disgusting. I'm talking about that they barely mentioned the woman that won, much less what she won for. So to me that says that they're not even fans of this woman that won this award. They're just it's just somehow great. We got a white man making fun of someone's culture, and that's
it's overshadowing the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, it just points out that they're not fans. They're just there to tweet and cancel people without knowing what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then Natalia's last name is La Forcade. I mean, it's not an easy, especially if you're looking at it phonetically. It's like La Forcade, and that's
I don't even
exactly
know
what
what you just said. Yeah.
that's exactly what he said. He got a vowel wrong, but he said he actually broke the last name down correctly. But big fucking deal. We do that every day, right? You get corrected and you move on. This thing with language, it's like, in culture, it's like, you're not the cultural police. We can take care of ourselves. It's not a big deal. But are you a fan of this woman? Then that what a seminal artist she's been for like the last 6 years. Talk about her win. Also, too, there was 2 other Latinas that won that night. Okay, and I'm not talking about Cardi B. Linda Ronstadt won a documentary for her life, The Sound of My Voice. Selena won, her family won the Lifetime Achievement Award posthumously, right? Of course. Selena and Linda Ronstadt didn't speak a lick of Spanish. Members of Los Lobos don't speak a lick of Spanish. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we could sing, they can sing the shit out of it, but that's just the reality. It's like, you have no idea what you are talking about. And here's this guy who's a comedian who we love because he just takes a piss out of things. He's like, what the fuck am I even doing here? Screw it. All right. I got the name wrong. Hey, you know what? You deserve it. I apologize. That's it. But, everyone, like, is so virtuous. Oh my God, you're mispronouncing people of color's last name. Listen, man. 2 women have won multiple Grammys, multiple in singing in Spanish, and they can't speak a lick of it. They've gotten better at speaking it, but they weren't fluent speakers. So you're telling me that these 2 people who won the highest award in the land possible, right, singing these songs in Spanish from the Grammys, couldn't speak the language. You're telling me that these, that's the real story. This, what Bill Burr did, that's not a story. It was just a comedic moment. So yeah, that's really like kind of like my 12-minute. That was my 12-minute take on it. But, give or take some. I also connected it to myself, and when they stopped speaking Spanish to me because I would get shit. We're in a different day now, but it took me so long to relearn my shit. And I'm not even offended. Like, there's people, I'm saying, like, I got people in my own family like clown on me. It happens in every family. So I brought those up, and I of course said, Bill, of course Bill Burr's always welcomed, and his comedy to me is always welcomed. I love comedy that makes us, uncomfortable and funny, and damn, and connects us. He's on another level. And he's on another level that these idiots don't understand.
Well, here's my question on all this. If they're going to make this big deal about Bill Burr being a racist, and then the whole thing about him being married to a black woman is just an act of racism, are they ready to say that same thing about George Lucas? Because we're in the context of Star Wars here. Are they going to say that about George being married to Melody? Is that the same kind of thing? Where does it stop?
Or De Niro being married to, I believe his wife was African American. I think they just got divorced, but I'm not sure.
But the other way, Christina Ireland is
Christina
Ariel.
David Bowie sucked dick and still married a black woman. So there you go.
But why don't you cancel Selena? Why don't you cancel Los Lobos? Why don't you cancel Linda Ronstadt?
Well, in a way, you're kind of saying they didn't really cancel them, but they are ignoring what they did because of this whole thing. They're pointing the spotlight on Bill Burr, and that's another point nobody's really bringing up.
What I'm saying, Tom, is that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they don't give a shit. All
No,
right.
I know, right?
Just like
they're
you're
ignoring,
saying
the
that they're
whole
not
thing.
fans of Star Wars. They're not fans of Snyder Cut. You know, it goes down the line. It's just agenda checking. So sorry, Tom, I didn't mean to get upset here.
No, you're fine, but I do like the point that you're making, though. Also, that it is kind of distracting away from the people who actually deserve the attention right now.
And that's the thing. You're absolutely right, because most of the main awards in music is garbage. When you listen to this album that this woman put out, it's epic. It's like a Los Lobos level in Spanish epic. You know what she did. You know, and here's the one opportunity where she, you know, they get a chance to award this person, and you know, instead of going after Bill Burr, why don't you hey, you know, Bill Burr, you know, he did what he did, but this artist is amazing. Let me tweet a song about her. Not one song was tweeted about her, about who she is.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. What I miss?
You missed everything, Rob.
Everything.
Damn it.
You missed all the Star Wars.
Now just ranting in Espanol here.
Yeah.
10 minutes
Yeah.
after you left. It's always 10 minutes after you leave when all the fun starts.
No.
See?
How long were you really gone for? Jesus.
So the whole time I was talking.
I was thinking so. Yeah. Dash DC says,
Thanks, Rob.
previous versions of cancel culture, WW2 Germany, IE, was considered evil. Is this current version actual evil, or is society moved in a direction? I think the best way I can answer this is by saying what, you know, Andre and I have kind of been hitting on quite a bit, is that this is a manufactured trend. This isn't an actual trend. This isn't something that came naturally because, you know, things were just changing. This was something that was forced. Because the more and more we're getting into this, and I think that's a big part of what the Forbes article really points out, regardless of, you know, Gene really hitting on all the same talking points that all the other media is. He's at least getting to the point where, and I hope that that's, you know, the point of this title is that we're getting to a point where a lot of people are just saying, come on, enough's enough. Yeah. You know, we're acting like Karens. Are we ever really going to just back the fuck off and let people breathe? I mean, and I don't even want to get political, but I mean, there's some things that have been actually, you know, worse in the last few months than they were for 4 years. I'm going to say that right now. And
well, I've made the point several times on Live from the Bunker that this goes beyond red versus blue, Republican, Democrat. This is about power. This is that, and that's what this is. This is all about who's in charge, who, you know, how can they stay in charge and make sure that you're not in charge. And, and that's the primary motivating drive behind all of this cancel culture, is they don't want the wrong people having a say.
Exactly. That's the big part of it, is they want to silence those who they don't agree with. That's really,
it's all plot by J.J. Abrams.
Go ahead, Rob.
It's all plot by J.J. Abrams. He's the real mastermind of all this.
The funny thing is this interview, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see it or not. I know, Tom, you've got a copy of it. We're
going to bring it up here, actually. Yeah.
Melody and George.
Yeah.
Because in that, about 34 minutes into that, before he gets to talking about Star Wars, he talks about greed and fear. And greedy people are motivated by fear. And he talks about how the bad guys, and you know, just speaking in general terms, but you know, he's applying it to storytelling, but he's also applying it to life, that the bad guys are greedy. And it's that same kind of thing. He equates it to a power grab. They're afraid of losing their control, their dominance, their prosperity, their prestige, anything that they have that they see as a benefit. They're greedy and they want more, and they have this fear that they're going to lose it. So they attack anybody that they see that presents a threat to that.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there. This should help Paulie make him feel better. Fat Steven Seagal says Paulie's voice makes me question my sexuality. That means you confuse his genitals.
Wow.
He should be happy about that.
Thank you, Fat Steven Seagal.
See?
Muchísimas gracias.
Yes.
Muchacho.
And yes, David Bowie is a musical god. I wasn't saying anything against him. There's nothing wrong with liking to suck some dick. I mean, if that's your thing. Matt G sent a super sticker. Thank you. Radicalized Ryan. Oh my goodness, he's been radicalized now. Sends us super sticker. Thank you so very much for that. We appreciate it. We got some unicorns in the chat here for Matt G. Let's see here. I think we're caught up on the super stickers. So let's get into this Rose Tico business, or should I say, yeah, I guess it is Rose Tico business, and then we'll get to the George Lucas deal. So tell us what's going on here, Jason.
Well, I don't know, because I'm in a couple of different discussion groups over on Twitter, and Ichibaka starts dropping this stuff. I don't know if you guys are connected with him, if you have any communication with him, but this just started showing up. He's dropping
I know him. Yeah.
And some different things, and I don't know where this is starting, but apparently this this is some kind of a backlash against Rose. I've never seen this before, so I don't know. I mean, this is all 2018, but I've never seen any of this. And this stuff now, I don't know why this is
okay. I'm curious. Okay, I'm thinking I know what he's getting at with this, and I'm just positing this. These are probably a lot of the same people who were out calling us istophobes and claiming that we were the reason that Rose Tico got canceled, but yet they were the ones probably raising a bunch of shit before backlash started hitting on the movie, is what I'm thinking. I have no idea. Unless you have something better to go on.
Okay. Okay. I'm kind of backtracking through the messages here.
Mm-hmm.
So these people apparently were blocked, and Ichibaka grabbed their tweets, and somebody says, "Can't wait to hear you and Informal Majesty tackle this on rewriting Ripley." And I don't know if he's implying here that Informal Majesty posted this stuff. I don't know. I'm still playing catch up here. So
yeah, once you kind of, if not, I'll have to talk to Itchy and see what's going on.
Yeah, this is because this is just, I mean, Itchy's just throwing a bunch of stuff in here, and I don't have a whole lot of context yet.
Yeah, and I don't like to just assume shit either. So we'll save that. The other thing I want to talk about real quick before we get to the George bit. Let's talk a little bit about theaters being open again after I hit this super chat from Stephanie Janicek, our good friend, says, wearing a Bowie t-shirt, LOL. Well, good for you. That's cool. It's cool. I wish I had a Bowie t-shirt. I don't have a Bowie t-shirt. I got a Jareth action figure, though, from Labyrinth. I do have that. Anthony Arribas sent in $19.99. Thank you so much. I'm convinced our culture is being attacked at this point. They'll cancel Dr. Seuss over a stupid cartoon, but Cardi's simulated lesbian performance is okay on national television where families watch. Make it make sense. That's a big part of the whole thing. And well, what was that?
That's probably sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, it just picked up a bunch of background noise.
Yeah, it's.
Did you see any of that though? The big, huge, like clear stripper heel she was dancing around.
No, but I'm sure you did, Rob. Considering.
Yeah, I did. I was shocked.
I was appalled. Appalled.
No, I'm not that shocked.
I saw it, and then I was appalled the second time after seeing it.
Well, I mean, I think fair is fair. I remember, a lot of other people would get in so much trouble for doing straight sexual things on stage, so, I mean, fuck. Two Live Crews, speaking of them earlier, they'd get arrested just for talking about it or rapping about it, so.
Well, Cuddles. Culture Casino brought up earlier on his show. Cuddles Casino. Almost
Cuddles Casino.
That this is nothing new. Ever since
dark persona.
Ever since Elvis rocked his hips all the way to Madonna, and now this, and I remember complaining about a year ago when J Lo did a stripper pole dance at the Super Bowl halftime, and then then the next minute had her daughter on singing, so yeah, it's and then the other side of it is that the ratings are down like 58% in the last 2 years.
Oh yeah,
no one's watching.
Nobody gives a shit about. They bring Ringo Starr out, and I was up here. I was on the Grammys a couple times.
That's because they don't have good music anymore.
Yeah.
Like this. Earthquaking, booty shaking, let's get this fucker started. High class, big brass, pretty little lions in a row. No cash, so crass, wrap it up in a bow. I'm so heavy, my head hangs low. When you gonna tell me what you don't know? The whole world's gone crazy, but that's okay now. Don't worry, baby, I won't fade away. Get down on your knees today, but I don't want you to break. No. Everything I wear looks like shit on me, but baby, I look good on you. Maybe if I knew just what to say, then maybe you'd know what to do. First glance. All right, that's enough.
Oh, that was extraordinary.
Oh, I'll play more later.
Did
it sound good?
You don't
though?
need to
That's
do
what I'm
that.
worried about. Oh, fine. Be that way.
I'm getting comfortable here on Emmy. I need to.
Dash DC says, so why is the government doing similar things? Votes? Yeah, that's part of it. The government, it's all about money. It's all about getting, that part, as far as they want to appeal to a specific demographic of people that have money, and redistribution of wealth is another big part of it too. That's something you can check out Comics Division's channel for. Dash DC comes in again. It says, I'm sorry, I'm a 50-ish man from small town New Brunswick, Canada. I can't fathom anything my grandfather died for is coming back, like book burning and disarming the populace. Am I reading too much into it? No, I really don't think you are, Dash DC. In fact, I was saying similar things to this effect recently about this whole situation. So, yeah, I don't think you're far off. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't think he's.
Well, it's a lot to get. It's a lot to unpack here. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's hard to argue. It is, and that's where I don't think that Gina was too far off on her.
I think we're at the point where we're living in. We're right at the intersection of Animal Farm, 1984, Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451. Those behaviors are manifesting themselves in the regular population, and it's driven by media, it's driven by the politicians, it's driven by the entertainment. And to what end? That's a good question, because we're now back in a time where people are lobbying for segregation, and that makes absolutely no sense to me, other than keep everybody separate so you can keep them under control. They're fighting each other, they're not fighting us. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. So yeah, like theaters are open now. I wanted to discuss that a little bit, or at least most places they are. Do we feel like this is a point where we've kind of turned another corner? Maybe is this mean that things are looking up for the film industry again, or at least in the sense that theaters are going to be able to open up and start showing films? Do you think this is actually going to happen, or do you think they're going to shut down again? What do you guys think? Let's start with Paulie. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm going to go to the theater this weekend.
Yeah, I've heard some people already going there, like, because that's the big thing is it's opening up where you are.
Yeah, that's
mainly.
what we're real excited. So I convinced. Is is a Snyder Cut going to be in the theaters or just
That I don't know. I don't think it is
I don't
at
think so.
this point.
what?
It's just HBO Max.
That sucks. There is a lot to unpack, right? I think the best thing we can do is keep answering back with our dollars and keep capitalism alive and open and fair for all kinds of people, and to to be outspoken to our liberal friends. Yeah, I'm progressive. I'm liberal, but I'm not that loony liberal. Like, how did that happen?
Well, not for nothing. I don't hear Bernie Sanders out there saying we need to silence and cancel Dr. Seuss.
Let me be perfectly clear.
Let me be perfectly clear. Eddie Murphy needs to be silenced.
I think his drawings look too much like me.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a
He's
co-opting
stealing my likeness.
It is a co-opting of the left,
Right.
by the lunatic fringe. But we're seeing lunatic fringe on the right with things like the letter Q, and I'm not talking about Avenue Q. So there's always this idea of that. Oh, these people on one side are lunatics. These people on the other side are lunatics.
Mhm.
The largest voting bloc in America are non-voters,
Independent.
and there are people here that, I mean, the reason why people like you and I and Tom and Jason and a lot of people aren't out there doing a lot of these things is because we're calling for bans or whatever. It's because we have shit to do.
Mhm.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole idea of cancel culture, regardless of who started or whatever, is a result of, and I can't remember who brought this. I think my Culture Casino, I don't know, is the society has grown comfortable to the point where we have no dragons to slay. So they go, people, the old saying, don't go looking for problems because you're going to find one.
Yeah.
It's like when I used to work at the gas place. I used to repair shit, repair cylinders. Don't go looking for problems because you'll find one. And if when you did find one, oh boy, that was a whole other mess you'd get yourself into. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people care about Dr. Seuss and a stereotype of a Chinese drawing. I mean, most of us have never read that book, or if we did, we've forgotten about it. And again, as Bill Maher said, we are a silly people. We really do. We spend too much time fighting about this stupid shit when we have real problems.
Well, also too, it's so misguided that you didn't realize that a Mexican mouse could mean so much to people.
Yeah.
Bring so much fucking joy to people. That you're hung up on it. I'm sorry. That's how a lot of people speak English.
Well,
that are from Mexico.
Paulie,
they have a little bit of an accent.
To go on something you were saying earlier, if you actually paid attention, because I brought it up before too. This is not the first time they've tried canceling Speedy. Correct. But every time they've tried in the past, people have spoke out enough and they were like, oh, well, that was a pretty stupid idea to think that, well, duh, because as we pointed out before, Speedy is a hero. He's a positive character. Sure, there's certain stereotypes that roll into his world, but again, the whole of Looney Tunes is just making fun of all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. And once you start getting way too fucking sensitive on everything, then things like Speedy Gonzales get canceled or Dr. Seuss get canceled.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Stereotypes exist for a reason,
right?
They're in every subculture. The thing is that what people are so hung up on is that they'll start believing that that's all we are. Is that stereotype? People aren't that stupid.
Exactly.
You treat people with respect, and you break bread, in a sense. Your life goes on, and that's how it is. That's how it is every day. That's how it is every day.
See, and I mean, even some of the stuff that would be basically either borderline or basically blatantly racist in a lot of classic films and cartoons were things that went way over my head as a kid.
Mhm.
And when I was an adult and old enough to understand it, like you just said, Polly, I was smart enough to go, oh, well, that's obviously insensitive, or, until somebody pointed out certain things to me, sometimes I didn't even get the correlation.
Right.
You know what
And
I
it
mean?
has nothing to do with racism. It just, you didn't know. And you know what?
Right.
I said this, and I say this all the time. I really didn't know how ignorant I was with the African American community until I started going to a church, an African American church. That just happened organically. And I was like, oh shit, I need to check myself on a couple things. And that's just
growth.
life.
Yeah, that's growth, that's life. But now the other side of it is, I was saying though, is maybe it speaks to some of the people who get offended by some of this shit. Because what I was talking about is there's a lot of times where things have been pointed out to me in, say, Looney Tunes that are, considered racist or racially insensitive, when it's like, well, I didn't even make that correlation because I didn't even think of that said character as a black person or as a Hispanic person or anything like that, because they're a fucking mouse.
Right.
First and foremost, like as a kid, I didn't make those connections.
I think if anything, those cartoons were always ahead of what Hollywood was putting out as far as movies with brown face and yellow face and with stuff like that, and it always, and we've talked about this before. It always shows those stereotypes, getting the best of the bigger cartoons.
Right.
And
I mean, even the other one is like the crows in Dumbo. I didn't even stop to think about that shit until I was older. Like I said, never made a connection. Then you realize, yeah, okay, they're all basically quote unquote jive talking black guys doing the voice.
Well, they're Zoot Suiters.
Exactly.
Right?
Like,
didn't they turn into Zoot Suiters, or is that another cartoon? I'm trying to think of. But my point is that back then, black and Latino youth were Zoot Suiters. That's how they.
Well, that's kind of what it's emulating, is like the guys, that you would find hanging out on the street corner. And I mean, they're not really negative characters when you stop and think about it. They're the ones who teach Dumbo how to fucking fly. So I don't understand what the fucking problem is here. Like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Go on, Paul.
Like I said, like I keep saying, Tom, he goes, this gives people far too much power.
Right.
This, I mean, look, I'm making a difference. Look, I've solved the world's problems by tweeting. I'm like, no, you haven't, dumbass. Okay. It's
and I mean, look at the shtick that
for people.
Look at the shtick that Rob and we, and I do all the time is Cheech.
Yeah.
And those voices. Some people take serious offense to that, and it's like, you know what? Chill out. Like where everyone's having fun, and it to me, it is like the supreme compliment that Rob is doing that. It's like, oh, that's pretty dope. This guy that's not from LA or East Coast, right, bro?
Yeah, East Coast.
And you're like, you're a huge fan, and you're cabron.
Hey, how you doing?
No, now, I can vouch for Rob. He has the entire Cheech and Chong collection because I sent it to him.
But man, I got the good one, the wedding album, the Los Cochinos, the other one, man.
Well, so if Bill Burr had come out with a sombrero on in a fake mustache, then we'd have a problem.
Yeah,
like then we would. There needs to be a conversation. But that wasn't what happened. Not at all. Not at all.
No, I know. And it's getting to the point where you almost got to start defending people for blackface at this point. It's just like, and I don't want to, and I would never dream of it, but it's like, at some point you got to go, not every one of those people was trying to be racist.
No, that's a whole nother thing. And yeah, man,
the other thing,
and then we forget why we're here. It's like, let's just talk about Star Wars and Superman and, some, if there's going to be a cool new Latino superhero, awesome. Or whatever, but, try not to, repurpose them, just for an agenda. You know, you and if you're gonna do that, you better come 100% with an amazing story.
Well, and I think we've had that conversation before, Paulie, about how a lot of things that are considered appropriation, we used to consider celebration.
Assimilation into the overall culture.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone appropriates everybody. Come on, that's what
Yeah.
that's what American. That's what it means to be an. That's
That
what
is what it is. Yeah,
that is an
America
American.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what I don't understand why we're trying to, and that's where I get like, okay, I'm being told I'm being too white. So what do I do? Because I'm being told no, to quit being so white, and then I'm being told act white and only white. Well, what is it? You're sending me mixed signals. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm not talking about you personally, obviously. I'm talking about the media and everybody else in general. But like, it's just really dumb. But a hijabi gamer sent in a $5 super chat, says, I want to use my status as a female minority to help fight cancel culture. Well, that's good. I want to break their narrative. Cancel culture scares me. It has to stop. And I'm glad to hear that. And that's what it's going to take. Stephanie Janacek says she's got to run, but have a great night. Well, thank you so much for the support, Stephanie. We appreciate that. Check out her channel. She does her own stuff over there and does her own recording and stuff. Yeah. Then we got one more super chat here from Dash DC, who's really been bringing it tonight. Why is someone's offense my problem? Get away from the thing, deal with it, and get on with your life. I don't have to care in the least. Yeah. And again, not to go back to Bill Maher, but another thing he used to talk about all the time and was how he was sick and tired of the rest of the world having to childproof itself for one person. Yeah. That's not how the world should work.
Yeah, the part of that too is, you've got so many people bending over backwards for such a teeny tiny percentage of the population. And it's, we saw with that Inverse article talking about how a lot of these people that are now driving the conversations over on Twitter are now, they're 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
What do they know? I got a 19-year-old. He still doesn't know squat about anything.
No shit, right?
I mean, 19-year-old did, yeah. I didn't know jack shit when I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I knew my 19-year-old self, I'd hit him upside the head right now. And Dash DC says, didn't mean to bring personal responsibility. No, that you're completely on the button, though, Dash DC.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous for the world to be expected to be responsible for the feelings of one or two individuals. And that's what's happening. It's a very selfish and self-centered thing where they're trying to act so selfish and pretend like the rest of the world should just bow to their wishes. And that's bullshit. That's like a little kid throwing a fucking tantrum and getting their fucking way constantly. And that's what's happening. And that's why we've gotten to this place, and that's how we've gotten so far, is that too many people have been afraid to say no, or just shut up, or you're an idiot, or you don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about, because they're afraid of being called an istophobe if they do.
I've got a friend who is a professor of psychology at University of San Diego, or San Diego State, and she's done a number of studies on what she calls the iGen. It's this generation of people that are so tied into devices, and their brains and the way their thinking functions have changed because they're in these mobile devices all the time, and it's all instant gratification. If I want to look up something, I can go to YouTube, I can go to Google, I can I get it now, and it's all whether it's endorphin driven or not, it's that attention span. That is this, they've got the attention span of a gnat because it's all right there and right now. And they want it instantly and they want it fast, and, microwaves and mobile devices. And they're not learning delayed gratification. They're also not learning how to work for anything. And that's the same kind of mentality that I see here, where they want it their way. And how dare you tell them no?
That is part of it, yeah.
Spoiled, entitled narcissism that's augmented by social media.
Yeah, I was just going to say it feeds into the other part of it, which is basically that thing you just held up in your hand, as Doc Brown put it, is a portable television studio. And that's the thing, is everybody's their own star in their own world because of this phone. and it's not just the instant gratification of so much the getting the way that you want it. It's also getting the attention.
Yeah.
And that's where the narcissism comes in. And that's where these people, and this goes right into Anthony's super chat here. Do you guys think these people are truly offended or just pretending to piss people off to change things? It's got to be exhausting. I don't even think they're really so worried about changing things as they are just, look at me. I am so important. I'm virtue signaling. I'm doing all these great things. Pat me on the back. Yep. And really, I think a lot of it is that the parenting has gone out the fucking window. Me as a parent, my hands were tied, and I know Jason's going to know what I'm talking about, and other individuals here who have kids and nieces and nephews probably know what I mean. And that is, you can't even discipline your kid anymore without somebody calling the cops and social services and shit. So then you got your kids, like Jason was just saying, you're afraid to tell them no because otherwise they're going to call the authorities on you and make up some fucking bullshit story. Yeah. And it's gotten so bad. And not only that, and I used to have to, get on my kid's case about that shit. Because when he wouldn't get his way, he tried to make those kind of threats and be like, you know what, go ahead and do that. And you're just going to get yourself in trouble because there's actual kids who really need help. And you're just clogging up the system for those kids who do with this bullshit. And they're going to find out that it's bullshit and you're just going to waste their time. And if that's really what you want to do is put everybody through that kind of crap, then go for it. It's like, and that's really what these kids are so narcissistic, and they want to be the star, and it's all about getting that like and that recognition, which is just like a pat on the head they didn't get from their parents, because not only were we afraid to discipline them, we're afraid to give them any kind of, true compassion, because then you get accused of other things. So you're just used to giving your kid into whatever they want and telling them they're the greatest all the time, and they can never do anything wrong. Yeah. And it just breeded this whole entire problem that fed into these useful idiots that are being used by these propaganda machines.
And then you get somebody like Gina Carano who stands up and says, no, I'm not going to play that game.
Exactly. Because they saw people like Paris Hilton and all these other people get famous just for being online and doing stupid shit. So, yeah. Then Diego Flores says, they say about misogyny that why don't go to their own backyard in Latin America where we have real problems like that, but ignore us completely. Well, that's the thing, Diego. They'd never dream of actually going. See, that's what America used to do. Mm-hmm. We saw injustices in other places, and we go and be like, hey, you need to knock that shit off. Right? Mm-hmm. Nowadays, we just do it in our own backyard when it's not even really there. And we ignore it when it happens in other places. China,
Remember, yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Remember, like this actually. Remember, it started like in some degree back in with the South Park Christmas special. Hey, there's a star that I find that very offensive to non-Christians. I agree.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, that was a product of the '90s, which and we've already been through this, and that's what we're saying to people. For those who aren't old enough in the chat to remember, we went through all this PC culture shit in the '90s, and we figured out by the end of it, like, come on, we're being really fucking like overly sensitive about stupid shit.
Well, and people want to make comparisons to the moral majority of the 80s, that big, censorship and Dungeons and Dragons and all these different things, that battle that happened back then. And I went through that. I was there for that.
So did I.
And I don't recall anybody in the moral majority calling for people to lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods, lose their public personas, their ability to be citizens. I mean, lose their lives. None of that. None of the crazy stuff that we see now with the cancel cult, behaving the way they are. It's gotten much more extreme, and whether that's driven by social media radicalization and the whole echo chamber thing or not, I don't think you can compare the two. I mean, in principle, maybe, but to me, it seems like it's a real stretch for anybody to sit there and say, well, the right did it back in the 80s with the moral majority. Well, they didn't go this far.
Actually, it was more the left, if you stop and think about it, because it was Tipper Gore and them heading off a lot of the shit against like the music industry and stuff too. Yeah. People forget about that.
Oh yeah,
they don't like to bring up the fact that it was a lot of them people that were going after inner city black kids who were just trying to make music. Mm-hmm.
You had to fuck up really bad in order to be canceled, quote unquote, canceled in the 80s.
Well, and that was the thing. That whole hullabaloo was all done in that, and the D&D craze, and the whole like devil worshipping scare that came out of that kind of crap too, and that all kind of came along the same time, and it all just kind of went away eventually because we all were like, oh my God, this is just fucking stupid. Because then eventually all that came out of that crap, all the hearings and stuff that had to do with 2 Live Crew and Twisted Sister and all that shit, we ended up getting the parental advisory sticker, and that was it. That was it. Because at that point, you're right. Like, they realized they had no power over this shit. And I think you're right. It's about a power pull in a lot of ways. If they can control the culture, they can control everything. And they've said shit like that. They've said, like, if we can change history, we can control this and that. They're not even hiding the shit anymore. And then Dash DC reminds us that 2 words, Tom and Rob, Dragon Blade. Yes, we'll watch Dragon Blade soon, I promise.
Is there karate in it?
There is karate, and it's a Jackie Chan movie.
Oh, sweet. Dragon. Oh, sweet. We got, you know what? I gotta run through the translator of the Japanese, the kanji translator. Does it have karate? And that'll be our next shirt.
I saw that you were working on that idea. Jack of all casuals, how you doing? Says they are a new, different generation of trolls. Yeah, it's different. Valiant Renegade says, not me, Tom. My kids know daddy will drop the effing hammer, LOL. Just ask them. And they still know I love them. But that's what being a parent used to be. Exactly. Like one of my favorite sayings I have is, your parents used to bring your ass home so the cops used to bring your ass home so your parents could beat your ass. They didn't show up to your house because your parents beat your ass. And I don't mean like actual physical abuse. I mean just, sometimes a kid needs a whooping for fucking doing something stupid. And I've told the story too many times, so I'm not going to get into it. But like, I've seen it firsthand how these people just freak out over stupid shit. That even in public, it's hard to discipline your kid or keep them in order anymore without somebody fucking freaking out. It's insane. Spider Unlimited said, I learned a lot from being hit by my parents, smacks in the mouth, broken spoon over the behind. See, and those things to me are even just a little too much. I'm talking about like, maybe a slight cuff upside the head at worst as far as that goes on that part. But otherwise, just a plain old open hand spanking. And people think timeouts and shit do anything. Timeouts didn't do shit for my kid. He was autistic.
Yeah.
All that did was make shit worse. I'm not saying physical discipline would have worked for my kid, but I've seen a lot of kids that's all they really need is a good ass whooping. Yeah. Like, to be honest.
Well, it actually sometimes doesn't. I mean, my kid and I had our go arounds several times, and there were times it got physical, and he still, he still doesn't listen to some of the things that I'm.
Well, see, and I wonder if now. I mean, I don't know, like, again, like I just said, the basic open hand spanks when a kid's bad.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if like something like that, because I've asked myself the same question, because my kid, when he got to be an older teenager, tried to get a little too physical too. And I wonder if it wasn't because of the lack of any kind of, the idea that my dad used to whoop my ass as a kid kind of thing. Because I used to be something, it'd be one thing, we feared our moms more than we did our dad usually when we were kids. But the one thing you didn't want to hear was you just wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah.
Like that was something as a kid that your world just fucking stopped. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I've taken the belt to my kid a few times. And the problem that I ran into with my first wife is that she weaponized wait till your father gets home.
See, that's not a good thing.
I became the bad guy. And we're still dealing with that. So,
see, and that's the thing is, to me, it's not a fear so much. Let me rephrase that. It should be about disappointment. Kids aren't worried or afraid to disappoint their parents anymore.
No,
because remember, that was the thing that you didn't want to hear out of your mother's mouth. Wouldn't be like, I'm not, you pissed me off so bad or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Wait till we get home or whatever. She would make threats under her breath. It was when your mom was calm and she's like, no, honey, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. And when you hear that out of your mom or especially your father, I mean, that sucked when we were growing up, and that I think is what kids don't have anymore. And I don't know what you would necessarily, is that self-respect or what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, Robert, Paulie.
That's part of it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
No, but it's just, I mean, I know part of it is just that parents, I'm sure, just don't know what to fucking do anymore. we have no control. I mean, and you know, even our parents, they were able to keep a lot more control over us, even though they didn't have to. And the internet really changes a lot of that shit. Like if we'd had the internet growing up, I can't imagine what we would have been like. But still,
well, I think we're the last generation that didn't grow up wired into a device.
that's true.
So where that overlap, where in the 80s is when we had the personal computers and the video games started, the Atari and the Coleco and all of that, and everything changed after that.
Yeah. Emperor Billy Richard, thank you so much. Says, or Richie, sorry, I said Richard. Tom has better advice than Dr. Phil. Well, we're both about the same amount of doctor. So we got the same PhD in bullshit. So we're both qualified for that, I guess. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Prince Andrew. Respect for the parents and authority helps respect yourself and others. And I think Paulie's away, but I definitely wanted to have him comment a little bit on that.
No, I'm here.
As a mentor and somebody who does work a lot with young kids.
Yes.
I mean, how do you view that? Is it like a thing about, not just, just self-respect and having humbleness and caring about disappointing those in your life that actually do give a shit about you? I mean, do you see that as something that kids lack a lot nowadays?
Well, I mean, with the kids that I work with, as far as training martial arts, I'm in cahoots first with the parents. Like, this is my approach. You guys got to be 100% behind me, or I can't be, Professor Paul. I can't, I can't do my job. And so that, so what I'm teaching them are life lessons on the mat about respect, discipline, hard work, good habits, defining what a habit is, bad habits, punishment, earning something that's not, we don't give anything on the mat. So we don't give you a stripe.
Right.
We don't give you a belt. You have to earn it, and you can lose it with your bad behavior. And one kid, oh man. And this is kind of weird, but I had to do it. I had his backing was, and Andy, the lead singer of Santana. I trained his kid, and he messed up, man. And I was like, one too many times, and I had to take away a stripe. Let me tell you, from after he got over his tears to when he earned his stripe back, this kid grew leaps and bounds. Leaps, like the parents were unreal. The kid's gonna be 5. Now that's the character building, man. And so
and those are the years where it happens, where it matters most.
Yeah. And so I'm in awe sometimes of, like just watching these young dudes, young boys, just soaking it up and really stepping up and doing better. And so yeah, if it was up to me, every kid would be in a martial arts class at public school.
Do you think that's why, on the same sort of idea, that's why music sucks so badly these days? Is because you cannot become instantly gratified in that you cannot become an expert in a guitar or on a piano or on the drums or on the bass overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and discipline and practice. And
are you saying it takes a lot of work and discipline to come up with something like this?
Why? Yes, Tom?
Sorry.
So, oh God, I lost that song threw me off.
It is awesome though, isn't it,
Tom?
Good job, Tom.
Well,
I'll play the whole thing here when we leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well, the thing is, Rob, is that's you're misled, because in who we deal with, as far as like people on my show and people I've dealt with, they're so trained. They keep on training. They keep on learning. The drummer of Los Lobos, he basically when he got the job drumming with Los Lobos, he's like, he had been drumming for decades, and he felt like he had to learn the drums all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's incredible. The thing is that we're not rewarding real musicians and real music and real bands right now. You know,
Well,
so
Max 15 says he blames Guitar Hero, but Guitar Hero is just it's an outgrowth of just video games. I'm like, yeah, I understand people who don't have a musical ability, and for them it's fun, but at the same time, you know, like
no, but I get where he's coming from, Rob, because I think they started too late with Guitar Hero on actually doing like the real instruments. Which one is the one where they actually started bringing in real instruments?
Rocksmith.
Yeah, see, that's how they should have started it. Do you realize how almost an entire generation of kids, like we could have found like some of the greatest new musicians that never would have had a chance before if it wasn't for that game coming out sooner than Rock Band and all the other ones, because you'd have had kids actually learning how to play and not even realizing it. And see, like I always said the same shit to my kid that's why I love that South Park episode, because it's on the fucking money. Because my kid was exactly that kid. He's like sitting here, look, Dad, I got a fucking perfect on Guitar Hero. It's like, yeah, well, I can play that song on guitar. And then I start playing it, and you know, the kids are just like rolling their eyes and shit.
If I can also say something about you know, music being taken out of our public schools, that really is a heartbreaker. And I know there's a lot of, you know, the Grammys and the foundation, they do a lot. A lot of artists do a lot of private foundation work. You know, that's a big deal, man, for these kids to be able to get their hands on instruments.
The problem is that it became more about the individuality, and when you got things that are too challenging for one person, it takes away the ability for others to thrive who have talent and who have the drive. And you know, you can have one or the other and still make it. That's the thing. Eventually, you know, you can train yourself with certain talents, and the same thing goes if you have talent but you don't have the drive, you can still make it, but one or the other you have to have. But if you're taking that ability away from kids, they're never going to be able to show it. They're never going to be able to discover it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things too is like Paul, you said, you know, the taking music out of the public schools. Has anyone actually been online or walked into a Guitar Center or have checked the prices of instruments? It's fucking outrageous.
Well, that's the problem with everything.
Back when I was learning, you know, you can get a decent guitar for $350. I mean, you can get not a great one, but you could find a used Stratocaster for about $350, and they were like $450 new. And now you can't even look at something unless you're willing to spend $1,000. I'm like, you could work a job bagging groceries and still eventually you could buy something relatively decent. Well, now a lot of lower end instruments made in China are very good, but at the same time, I'm like, the cost of equipment is just. I blame Slash in the 90s. He bought up all the used instruments, but seriously, in the 90s, used became vintage. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's used.
Yeah, that happens with everything.
It's vintage. It's vintage. No, motherfucker, it's used. 6 months ago, it was used. Now it's vintage. Now you just want to charge me another $400 for it.
That's the world, Rob. Dash DC says, that's when you realized as a kid you failed to live up to expectations. We can't put that on kids anymore. It causes too much stress, like keeping score. Well, I think we covered a lot of that here. And I think it's good for a kid to be under a little bit of stress because it teaches you what life's all about. Now, I'm not saying stress your kid out to the point where their hair falls out and they talk about killing themselves. But obviously, you know, a kid has to learn how to deal with some stress of life at some point.
Yeah.
But that's part of being a parent, is letting them know, like, I'm here to help you out, but you need to learn, you know, like what life's all about. And that's one thing that's been really difficult with my kid is, you know, just trying to get in his head, like certain responsibilities of being an adult. And that's the thing I think a lot of these kids just don't understand. We need to get, did you need to get going, Jason, or?
Yeah, I need to prep because we've got Salacious Crumbs here coming up in about 45 minutes. So
yeah, I'm gonna get through these super chats, but I'll let you go here, and then because I gotta get ready for High Council anyway, so we gotta get going here too.
Okay, and let's talk about that stuff that I sent you before you do anything with it. I've got some other stuff to
sure
talk to you about.
Sure,
okay.
Yeah, let me know what's going on with that. That'd be great.
All right, thanks, gents.
Yeah, check out Jason's channel. He keeps me up to date on a lot of stuff. So Sci-Fi for Me TV, check it out. Take care, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, Jason. Peace.
All right. And then Anthony Arribas comes in again with, it's funny because looking back at the Catch Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil, she's the embodiment of what's wrong with this young generation. Oh, yeah. She's She's one of the many examples we could use. That's for sure. Hyde 1352 sends in $5. Thank you so much. When parents talk down and belittle kids, even under their breath, the kids don't have much self-respect and don't care what they do. But I don't think that's the problem right now, Hyde. I think it's the opposite problem. I'm not saying we should do these things that you have here, but what I'm saying is I think when it feels like the kids have no expectations and everything they do is perfect and they never get in trouble, and parents talk to their kids like, hey, little buddy, you shouldn't kick your sister in the face. That kind of shit ain't going to teach your kid nothing. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Now, I'm not saying kick your kid in the face, but I'm just saying, like, you need to seriously deal with that situation. I mean, come on. I'm sure you deal with aggressive kids all the time, Paulie. I mean, that's kind of the point, is teaching discipline and how to actually, use martial arts as a defense and a way of relieving stress and not putting it out on other people.
Yeah, but he's a martial arts instructor. He could just kick their ass, and it's totally legal.
Well,
he's not Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah, either way, they have an endless amount of energy, whether they're aggressive or not. It's just amazing. So,
Oh, they keep it in their big toe. I figured that out.
Yeah. And
we just got to figure out how to harvest it.
Curl the toes back, hit with the ball of your foot.
It's like, I was dating this girl this one time, and her little kid was running around and she stubbed her toe, and she cried for about 5 minutes and went and took a nap. So after she went and laid down, like, that's it. They hide it in their big toe. That's where they keep all their energy. Now we just need to figure out how to harvest it and sell it. Yeah, that was pretty good. Diego Flores says, my dad was very busy, vice president in Bank of America in Latin America. Wow, that's a pretty big responsibility. Wow. And still the man accepted me waking him at 4 a.m. to play with him for 3 hours. Wow. 3 hours before he went to work. Now that's a dad. That's a dad.
That's dad of the century right there.
When he got angry, it was a stare and a smack with a remote on the hand and talking to. That was it. He talked to me as an adult when I was 6. I hope I can be like him when he's a parent. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I never talked down to my kid, even though he was autistic. I knew he had, issues, and I had to learn how to deal with certain things. But, you just got to treat him like an adult or talk to him like, an individual. And I mean, it took a while, but he's really starting to mature a lot more. And I'm sure you'll do a great job, considering you had a great role model. It sounds like, Diego. That's awesome. Spider Unlimited says martial arts is the best discipline. We got whooped and then had to get back up and take more, plus taught total respect towards others and structure. I'm sure Paulie can't argue with too much of that.
No. That's what a man needs. That's what
exactly
a young man needs.
Yeah.
And women. I mean, just,
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of
just great character building.
Well, beyond self-defense, there's a lot of other great things that martial arts can do for an individual. Like, I mean, I wish I could physically do half that shit anymore, but like, hopefully I can get back into shape someday.
Yeah, man.
All right, kids. I think we're caught up. I want to thank everybody for hanging in there. And for those who clamored for it, I'll play the song. For those who don't want to hear it, you can leave now. Take care, everybody. See you later, Paulie. I'm sure you're going to leave.
Let me know if I can plug my show.
Sure.
That's cool. We're going to have Fab Guido, the young actor from Mr. Iglesias, on the show, 7 p.m. Pacific. And I'm going to talk to him about his career. He's a funny kid. And then also do a little musical, pay homage to a musical legend we lost in Mexico. This incredible musician called Saxo. He plays 2 horns at the same time for this ska punk band called
How fuck you do that?
Well, come and watch. I'll send you a video.
I'll find out.
It's I'll send you some music. This band
that's truly amazing. Living La Vida Loca.
Yeah, he's yeah.
Dash DC says, "Thank you all for putting up with my old man ways and thinking. I appreciate ways of thinking. I appreciate your time." Well, Rob's your age, so
I am.
He said he's 50-ish.
No, well, I don't look bad for a man of Steve Summers say I don't look bad for a man of 78. Steve Summers is a radio personality in New York, so I mean, he'd always say he's older than he is. I don't look bad for a man of 78. because, as you know, Steve Summers, the Schmoozer, Schmoozing, SPORTS here on The Fan New York.
So yeah, check out the Latino Slant. That's where you can see Paulie's interview tonight. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you on Midnight's Edge in the morning and all that good stuff. Here's the song now that we lost 50 people. Earthquaking, booty shaking, let's get this fucker started. High class, big brass, pretty little lions in a row. No cash, so crass, wrap it up in a bow. I'm so heavy, my head hangs low. When you gonna tell me what you don't know? The whole world's gone crazy, but that's okay now. Don't worry, baby, I won't fade away. Get down on your knees today, but I don't want you to break. No, no, no. Everything I wear looks like shit on me, but baby, I look good on you. Maybe if I knew just what to say, then maybe you'd know what to do. First glance, last chance, lust at first sight. No finance, no romance, who will win the fight? It's a tug of war with the heart all night. But if we get a happy ending, we'll be alright. No promises, no demands, you're in command. But I can change the rule just like you can. If you don't like it, then there's the door. Will that be credit, cash, check, or money order? Everything I wear looks like shit on me, but baby, I look good on you. Maybe if I knew just what to say, then maybe you'd know what to do. Now. White trash, all flash, big player with no game. Hot ass, all sass, no hint of shame. I don't care who your mommy and your daddy are. Dressing for sex and success will get you far. Short skirt, tight shirt, you look so good in bed. High heels, making deals, a legend in your own head. Let me be the dirty secret that's going around. Keep your head up even when you're going down. Going down. Going down. Everything I wear looks like shit on me, but baby, I look good on you. Maybe if I knew just what to say, then maybe you'd know what to do. Now.
That's awesome, man. When did you do that?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't remember what day it was. I just did it. I wrote it in a few minutes and then I sent it to a few people like Rob and Abu Nas and a few others.
Did you guys ever hear the Breed dance mix that I made?
No, you were going to play that earlier. Go ahead.
Okay, well, okay. Hold on. I got voice.
We actually lost like 60 people when I played that.
You do, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I just did people, and I just played people.
Drop the taco, get in the car.
I didn't play Captain Marvel because I wanted to be a hero. I just
Drop the taco,
wanted to be a person.
the taco.
And that was a big part for me to be a person.
Oh, we're still on. We're still live. Oh, okay. Are we still live?
Yes.
Yeah, we're still on.
Oh, Jesus.
Breed dance mix.
It's kind of cutting out wonky.
Oh. That's the abbreviated version.
I think you got to turn on your stereo so it sound better.
Okay, well, anyway.
Midgets are attacking Rob.
Just says all that.
Oh, we had a super chat before that. Mute Gamer says, Rob, watch Mobile Fighter G Gundam. It's Gundam with karate.
Awesome.
Mm.
Giant robots and karate, two things I like most in the
Say, don't you already watch Gundam?
I watch, yeah, Gundam's fucking, Mobile Suit Gundam is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Apollo 536 says, that was just silly. Where can I find it? Eventually I will release it officially. Yeah, Jedi 6 the wants me to tell everybody the video idea for that song before I guess just to give too much away. Perry Chan's going to work on it with me. I've already commissioned him for it. Basically going to take my face and put it on a bunch of famous music videos like, you know, Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley and Billie Jean and NSYNC and just whatever, just a bunch of different videos is all. And hopefully it'll be funny as shit. So
is that other thing that's going to be ready by Friday or that other thing?
He's working on it. I had to resend him the one without the music though. So
okay.
We'll see. I told him he might get away with the one, but like, yeah, there's no way Paramount would probably let him get away with the other one. We'll see. Yeah, I do plan on releasing it eventually. I actually am working on like an album, so we'll see. All right, kids.
Maybe you can do you can release a video and you're doing you know, some simulated lesbian sex act.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Ay, Dios.
I am such a lesbian.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a lesbian also. God bless lesbians.
I'm just a plebeian. What do I know?
I don't know if I can get the rest of the crew to do a song, but yeah, we'll see. But congratulations to Az. He's number 93 on the UK charts right now on iTunes.
Az is a top 100 single.
He has a top 100 single.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
What?
Fucking scissoring. Ocean Man. Yeah.
Az is good people, though.
Yeah, all right.
So I got to compete with him now, you know.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a song. Nobody wrote it for me. No, I'm just giving him shit. I'm proud of him though. That's awesome. All right, kids, let's get the fuck out of here. So Paulie could probably deal with what's ever going on there, and Rob wants to watch porn, and I got to get ready for shit. Oh, you got your interview coming up. Don't forget that, kids. Check out that interview.
Live show. Yep.
All right. So until then, just remember.
They're not people, they're hippies.